Greetings, Blazely Dragon here, and today I want to talk about the Pledge of Allegiance. As an American, we all know this. If you're not American, you might have heard of it. It's essentially something that used to be part of our culture to a very large degree. So I, of course, was born in the 80s, and every time at school we would stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag with our hand over our hearts. However, it seems, and I know this is an old topic, it's still something I wanted to comment on, it seems like it's no longer required, and a lot of people are not being required to say it, not only in schools, but just around in general. And I thought it would be interesting to start with not only my opinion, yes, this is going to be an opinion video, something you don't see very often from me, but talk a little bit about the history. So, for references, Wikipedia. Now, with this, it seems that the Pledge of Allegiance has changed. And then I want to go into my thoughts on whether or not we should still be saying the Pledge of Allegiance after I cover some of this. So apparently, back in 1910, 1923, Rear Admiral George Falk had this pledge that he had originally come up with, which was, we give our heads and hearts to God and our country. One country, one language, one flag. So apparently that was like the original one that was introduced, and apparently there was some controversy over it and some back and forth. And in 1906, the Daughters of the American Revolution magazine printed this: I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands. I pledge my head and my heart to God and my country, one language, and one flag. Which, of course, was basically based upon Falk's pledge. In 1923, however, Edward Bellamy decided to change it, and the way that he had it written was, I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we're getting much closer to what we hear today as the Pledge of Allegiance. In 1923, the National Flag Conference called for the words, my flag to be changed to the flag of the United States. So, my flag, the idea is America is a country of immigrants. People come here from all over. So instead of my flag, we want to reference specifically the flag of the country that they will be living in, which makes sense. It looks like in 1942 it officially got changed to, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we're getting very close, besides for that under God piece. Now, there's other pieces, apparently. Louis Albert Bowman wanted to add under God to that in 1948. And even back then, it looks like there's a lot of controversy that was going on about the under God phrase being, shouldn't be required because, Jehovah's Witnesses or other people who didn't necessarily want to swear anything to something. It was, or because of the religious thing and swearing to a God, or maybe you're not religious, or whatever the case may be, there was a lot of controversy back and forth over it. And looks like, 1940, the Supreme Court in Minersville School District versus Gobetius ruled that students in public schools, including the respondents in that case for Jehovah's Witnesses, who considered the flag salute to be idolatry, like idol, like not adult, idol. But anyway, yes, references Wikipedia, interesting. They have reference links on there too. Regardless of a lot of this, it brings me to the point of, why are we against saying the Pledge of Allegiance now? I don't understand. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, I shouldn't have to swear the Pledge of Allegiance, whatever. But if you live here in America and you're a citizen and you're part of this country, what is so wrong, and why should it not be required for you to pledge allegiance to that country? And people could argue and say, oh, well, I have the right to... And why do you have that right? Because you're a citizen here and you have the freedom of speech. You have the freedom to be yourself. And yes, a lot of people might say, I've heard people say the phrase before, I love my country but fear my government. But again, this is the country that we're talking about. This is being an American citizen. To a lot of Americans, it's like they love their country. They want to be here. They want to be part of this country. People are constantly trying to come in and immigrate to this country because some of the freedoms that we enjoy. So saying the Pledge of Allegiance, I really don't see as that big of a deal. Now, talking as an individual who is not monotheistic, who personally I've always had personal issues with the under God piece. However, I still would want to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And actually, I thought it was great when I actually found this history, because essentially it's the old Pledge of Allegiance that I'm saying. I just basically taking out the under God part, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I mean, that's essentially, just take out the under God part, and then there's no problem. And you're still saying the pledge, you're still pledging to your country, you're still pledging before your flag, and you just take out the under God part. Or, just if you are polytheistic, just say gods. Or let's say you just believe in a goddess, just say goddess. Or Great Spirit. Whatever you want to say to personalize it and make it your own. I don't think that's like the end of the world. But to completely remove it from schools, if the issue and the phrase under God is the issue, then just take that piece out. It's not really that hard. Why is the rest of it not relevant? Again, just talking about indivisibility and justice for all and pledging to your flag, I don't understand what the problem is there. Why is that such a bad thing? Again, the fact that we even are having this conversation, the fact that I'm even making this video, the fact that we have that freedom, wouldn't you want to have some pride in your country with that? I guess I have issues and don't fully understand or grasp why it is now so taboo. Like, there's so much things that are taboo now in schools and doing this and that, and people being pushed and being politically correct on everything. And it's like, where do we draw the line? When is enough is enough? I mean, why is it now bad to take pride in your own country? And why do you want to sit here and fight against just everything? Something that's been part of the culture for so long. I mean, again, adapt it to a certain degree, make it your own to a certain degree, but have some freaking respect for where you live and the fact that you have the right and freedom to do that. If you were in other countries, and I don't want to name specific countries because I've not lived there and I don't know all the specifics, but I mean, you hear horror stories about certain countries that, literally you can't even speak out against the government without being arrested. It's like, you don't have that here in America. In the United States of America, we have this freedom to try to be ourselves, express ourselves, and say our thoughts in our mind. So, again, why would we not want to instill that in our children? So I could get on to a whole other topic with some other problems with the school district, but I really feel, in my opinion, that we need to bring the Pledge of Allegiance back to the school districts. And I really don't see a problem with saying it at all. Again, with the understanding that you can either edit, adapt, or remove the under God piece. And again, being an individual who is not monotheistic, it doesn't matter. It's been part of our country's history. Even if I myself may not be a monotheist, a great deal of monotheists had a great deal with bringing this country up to where it is today. On our money, it says, "In God we trust." And what are we supposed to do? Reprint all of our money to keep from offending people? I mean, again, it's part of our history. It's part of our culture. Even if it's not universally shared belief, it is still part of where we come from here. So, I don't know. Like I said, I know this is a very opinionated video. I want to know what your thoughts are. Down below, go ahead and add to the comments. What are your thoughts? Should children be forced to say the Pledge of Allegiance in schools? What about in sporting events or on other occasions? Do you think that the pledge should make a comeback, or do you think it is good to push it off to the side and not force people to say it? I mean, granted, people could just go through the words without meaning it, but that's on that individual. I don't know, it's just one of those things. So if you like this video, remember to thumb up, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon to be reminded next time I post a crazy random video talking for 10 minutes about something like this. And if you want to see more videos or have other thoughts you'd like to hear from me, go ahead and post that below as well. So thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe and all that crazy stuff.